had the introspection focus, or we tried to stick to that. We managed to some degree at least, and we ended up with 3 or 4 different concepts. So we were kind of inspired a bit then from Claudia's focusing method that she was telling about in her slides. You know, this method of trying to understand your feelings and affect your feelings in some way, using your body as a tool. And so apparently that process today, you do it in pairs. It's a very common way to do it. So you have someone that kind of helps you in the process of inspecting yourself. And the idea we had here was that, okay, maybe that can be done at a distance instead of meeting up with someone physically. So you could imagine that we have a social network of people doing focusing, and then a system that facilitates hooking up. So you can do it over Skype or something else. So that's the idea. And apparently, people do it over Skype, but the idea was basically to facilitate the networking part. Not very sexy, I guess, but it was one of the ideas we had. But then we have a bit more, from an engineering perspective, a bit more challenging idea, and that was to replace one of those 2 persons with the computer system. So you are doing this introspection focusing thing, and you are guided by the computer system as the facilitator of this process. So, and then instead of having this dialogue, which you normally have between 2 humans, the dialogue would consist of you, and that's where the multisensory comes in, I guess. You
start
pointing to different parts of your body. We have some magical system that senses where you're pointing. And you get feedback, and we have 2 versions. One more advanced, where you have like an Oculus Rift, some immersive VR system that visualizes.
You travel through your body.
You travel through your body, and you get some visual information, potentially probably abstract information of this travel you're doing. And the idea is that would facilitate this focusing process. But the perhaps more doable version, especially in a mobile scenario, would be one that is based on audio feedback. So you close your eyes, you have some headphones, and as you're doing your, touching your body in different places as part of the process, you will get some audio feedback that changes as you process through your body and through this processing.
It might work also as a metaphor of the response. So rather than obtaining this response from a different person, you're obtaining sonified feedback that helps you to acknowledge this body states. And would you mention something? Yeah, the other thing is, the good thing about sonifying the experience is better than VR, because VR implies using your sights, and at least for focusing, you need to close your eyes in order to engage in this exploration. Otherwise, you might get distracted. So in that sense, it's also more feasible, I think. Yeah.
Right. So and this is also could make it possible to do focusing in a mobile setting, perhaps.
In a train.
In a train.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do.
In a train.
That's
yeah,
why.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. And then we had 2 more things, or was it?
This multisensory camera.
Right. So that was the concept of basically instead of capturing a picture and then throughout when you travel and stuff, and then at the end of the year you have the Facebook yearbook or whatever it's called that kind of collects everything and then into a photo album, and you can watch it later in some kind of timeline fashion. The idea was to create a multisensory camera that captures smells and your body state as well, if you're happy or sad, or emotional state based on biological sensing, and then store that information together with still pictures or maybe moving pictures as well. I don't know. Basically, the full thing, and that's part of the idea. So basically, a memory, a moment capture.
Yeah, moment
capture. So instead of a camera, it's a moment capture device And the other part of the concept is that instead of organizing the pictures according to the time they were taken, they are organized based on the emotional aspects of the picture. So, and then you had some variation of that where, yeah, maybe you should talk about these 5 important.
Yeah, the point is that nowadays we are taking photos of pretty much everything. So they are getting pretty much very meaningless. So the idea was, okay, it's transforming this multisensory experience and collecting these mindsets as something more exclusive. So you may get access to them, but not so easily. So the idea was to have like a sort of company that were able to create these metaphors in a physical form, because physicality is also important as a part of having souvenirs. So according to your personal data, biological information, and so on, this sort of company or whatever, it's going to create these metaphors, 5 in total during the year, and in Christmas they are going to send you like a package with these multisensory like objects that you can revisit as a very meaningful thing. So the idea is that you get these objects as a gift, and you can reflect on them and what it means for you, for example, happy experiences or sad experiences or whatever. So yeah, that's basically the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Something else?
I think that's the main things, huh? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.